What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And I have some new news, once again, concerning Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. You know, and he gave people what they were asking for. He gave his thoughts, his opinion, his expression through a poem today, and he put it on Twitter and his Instagram page. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And a lot of people criticize me on why I asked the question. I asked him the question 3-4 days ago? Like, where the hell is Deontay Wilder? Was it 3 days ago I think I asked that question? But it might have been longer. Now he comes out with one. I think what people's problem is, they come to this channel and then they hear me speak constructive criticism about Wilder. I don't kiss his ass. I expect more out of him. I've always have expected more out of him. I wanted him to fight better fighters, better opposition. I wanted to see what he does against top 10 opponents. That's what I really wanted from Deontay. Now, the people that were the fans of Deontay, you might not like what I have to say. So what you do is, like I did today, I did a video about his initial video, his poem. And the people that listen to it, I think what it is, people listen to what they want to listen to, or they listen to up to a point where I say something that they don't like, and then they either make a comment and don't listen or don't watch the rest of it. You know, that was a 90% positive Deontay Wilder video that spoke about him. The only question I asked, what took him so long? Okay? I did a rebuttal video about that. But if you really want my honest opinion, my hunch, okay, because I don't know what the man really thinks in his heart. But if I was to guess, an educated guess, I would guess that Deontay Wilder was sitting chilling and somebody had to tap him on the shoulder and reminded him, hey, while you riding your bikes and fucking the shit out your girl, there's a black man that I think that you should speak on. You should speak about this because this shit is getting big. It's bigger than Trayvon Martin. It's bigger than, you know, these other incidents. This is something huge because this particular murder was caught on film, that a man was choked to death. Every breath of his life choked out. And I think it's about time you do something about it. And I think what happened was he was decided, okay, let me do something about it because someone reminded him of that. I think that's what happened. I think when he initially saw that shit, he saw it like everybody else saw it. Like, damn, what's going on? What the fuck's going on in Minnesota? What's going on in Minneapolis? Right? Damn, do they even have black folks up there? Right? So that's he probably saw it and got desensitized to it. Maybe. You know, he might have saw it like, damn, you know, that's fucked up. I think that's his honest reaction. I think when he saw it, he wasn't moved by that shit. I think he saw it and was like, man, that's fucked up. Some of the same old shit. Right? But I don't think he was moved enough to make a poem. Now, I think that shit he was forced, he was pushed, he was persuaded to do that shit. I think that's what really happened. Honestly. I don't think that shit was like, oh, you know what? Let me find the words to say. You know what I mean? Did he have any posts? Did he have any comments whatsoever about George Floyd? No, not at all. He waited 10 fucking days where everybody else was like, dude, that's fucked up. This is how I feel about it. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Or they'll make a video, right? So, you being a celebrity, what took you so long to do what you did? And honestly, about the To This Day movement, that shit was accidental. And I'm gonna tell you how that was accidental. That shit came from someone that became unglued on camera. That could have easily been one, if that was another context, that would have been some when boxers lose control. Somebody would have added that on the list of boxers when they have an outrage or an uproar with someone else, you know, and they become undone, you know, and go off on somebody. That should have been in one of them categories. The thing that helped Deontay Wilder was actually what he was talking about or what he was trying to convey to somebody that asked him, what the fuck are you talking about? That's the only thing the dude asked him. That reporter, Radio Raheem, asked him, hey, what do you mean by what you said? And he goes off and says, why don't you Google the shit? Well, if he had that same energy to this day, right? He don't have to say shit. I shouldn't explain something that's already understood. It sounded clever, but you could be a dumbass and just really don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? But I don't think, honestly, Deontay Wilder was really thinking at that time. I think he was just reacting to something that he caught, that he was offended by. That's all that was. But it wasn't Radio Raheem that offended him first. It was Tyson Fury. Okay? Let me remind you guys of something. Tyson Fury started talking about his people. He was already talking about mental illness. Okay, people? He was talking about mental illness before. He was talking about, well, my mental illness, this, that, and the other. That pissed Deontay Wilder off. Why? Because he was sucking up all the steam, all the attention. He was gathering all the attention, okay? He was getting these guys to only look at him, and Deontay Wilder didn't like it because he was like, that's bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. Because if I was that person and I was saying that I had mental illness, they would say I'm a terrorist or somebody on drugs. They wouldn't look at me the same. He might have a point with that. Okay, he may have a point. But the point that I'm trying to make was, it wasn't the fact that he was trying to convey that, hey, yeah, my people been fighting 400 years. No, he only said that shit because Tyson Fury secondly mentioned, hey, my people, the gypsies, have been discriminated against in my own fucking country. And that's when he went off, because he didn't like the idea of a foreigner coming over here and saying what was wrong with some other place, and we got problems over here in America. Now, he couldn't say that in a way that could relate to other people, so he reacts like he does, him being a very emotional person. He don't like the idea of people saying, you know what, I don't like that shit that these people are saying, like, oh, other people coming over here talking about their problems. Fuck their problems. You know, we had problems over here too. And then when Radio Raheem quoted what he said, he took it out of context. When he said, when you said your people, Deontay Wilder, he said, fuck you, your people too. Because he thought that he was trying to leave himself out of being his people or a part of his people, which is our people. Okay? So he took that wrong. But again, when you get offended on something, your expectations of a person, you lose. Okay? So his expectations of of Radio Raheem, he quickly got offended to what the man was saying without really understanding what the man was saying. Okay? And that's what that was. So it wasn't a thing of Deontay Wilder trying to explain anything. He just didn't like Radio Raheem saying what he said and how he said what he asked, right? Because he asked the question. He didn't like the way he asked that question, which, you know, is understandable to a certain degree because he was already outraged. Wilder was already outraged on what the fuck went on because he was pissed off at Tyson Fury. That's how they got into that altercation where he poked Fury in the eye. This is the first fight. Okay, so I want people to understand where Deontay Wilder was coming from and where it started from. It didn't start from Deontay Wilder being a Muhammad Ali. Okay, he didn't become a Muhammad Ali and say, hey, you know, there's people fighting and they want me to fight in a war that I don't believe in. Therefore, I'm not going to fight in that war because it's against my religion and I'm getting taught we're supposed to love our brother man, right? Assalamu alaikum. It wasn't that way, okay? Deontay Wilder didn't like another guy saying what he was saying about his own problems. Not because Deontay Wilder was sharing anything about his problems. He only did it as a response to what Tyson Fury was talking about. Okay? That's all that was. That's all that was. You know? So, before people get all bent about what I say, it's just Deontay Wilder is not a civil rights activist. He kind of fell into the shit accidentally. Okay? And Tyson Fury is actually more of one than anybody else because he was the one that mentioned his struggles and how people look at traveling gypsies. And they look at traveling gypsies as though they're second-class citizens. Like, and I believe, honestly, that the way they get treated over here was the way that our people got treated in the South. You know, and the South was a very big place. Anything below the Mason-Dixon line is the South people. Okay. I'm talking about Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, every damn thing on down. Tennessee, right? So no, it was actually Tyson Fury was speaking about his troubles and struggles in his country. And Deontay Wilder didn't like that shit because Deontay Wilder don't like the attention to be on someone else. That's the truth, people. So it wasn't, no, to this day we've been struggling. No, he just said that because the little that he could say and knew about that, he said. Honestly, I don't think that he could say X, Y, and Z, all this that happened to his people or our people, right? The way he quoted it. I don't think he could do that. That's why I do believe it took him fucking 10 days to come up with something because he had to recite that shit, which nothing is wrong with that. But I want you guys to know exactly where Deontay Wilder is coming from. I think Deontay was chilling. I think that didn't bother him like people think it did. You know what I'm saying? But when it did hit the fan and people started, oh shit, Tyson Fury is saying something. Anthony Joshua is saying something. You know what I mean? A lot of people all over the world are saying, dude, what's going on? This is fucked up. Black Lives Matter. So then it reflected on him. So everybody over here was like, dude, what are you really doing? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to say anything about it? I don't think he would originally said anything. And honestly, I don't think Deontay Wilder, now I want you guys to hear me. I don't think if the George Floyd incident wasn't as big as it was, honestly, I don't think he would have said shit. I don't think that he would have been persuaded or forced or taught or pushed to do any fucking thing. I think he would have still been doing motorbikes and looking at his new house or something added on to his house or his beautiful family and his beautiful wife. He has a beautiful wife and all that. So he would have still been posting stuff like that. It wouldn't have been about George Floyd. I think he did that and he jumped on the bandwagon. He jumped on it because it was an opportune time. Really, I think he was a little too late. You know what I mean? Because I found out about it late. I found out about this shit about the 28th, right? Maybe 2-3 days later. And I was like, George. And then I started seeing videos and shit like that because I don't really watch local news. Okay. So I understand, like, okay, a few days, but dude, 10 days? You waited 10 days to do this shit like the next month after. That shit was like the 25th of May. Dude, it's the 6th of June. And you just now, well, the 5th of June, to be fair, because he posted it like hours ago, like about 15 hours ago. So, but you wait that long. So you can't get mad when people ask you, hey, what took you so long to do what you did? You know what I mean? That's it, because everybody else has responded, because the natural response when you hear something foul, you're like, man, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? And then he could have connected that to this day. Like, dude, I told you. Look, I told you motherfuckers what I meant by what I said. And I don't have to explain what's understood, but I'm going to explain it now. He could have done that. He didn't do that shit, though, did he? No, he did not. At all. Okay? He sat around. We didn't hear shit of him or shit about him. But he's been doing that ever since he's been, got beat. He was absent a long time, people. He was absent a long time. But, he was doing surgery and doing this, and he, all of a sudden he became pretty much this quiet person. So maybe he steps in and out of the internet or whatever. But, in hindsight, I'm looking at what he's doing now. Again, it's great to do what he did, to say what he said, the poem, and it was very expressive and all this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, you do ask, like, damn, dude, it did take you a while after everybody else. You know what I mean? And this shit happened in your country, in our country. But anyway, my rant's over. I just wanted to tell you guys my true thoughts about how I honestly feel about Deontay Wilder. Now, I was going to give it a break. I was going to, let it slide, but people keep talking shit. So let me give you the real deal. But anyway, this is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.